Political campaigning in Bihar has intensified with the first phase of election just days away. The opposition alliance has unveiled its election manifesto. It's titled Bihar Ka Tejasvi Pran, ahead of the upcoming polls. The alliance is pledged to enact a law guaranteeing a government job for at least one member of every family within 20 days of coming to power.
So I think PK is, in that sense, a bit of an X factor. But what is interesting to me is that, because the big question is, who is he? Because if he's not going to end up winning, which is highly unlikely, but he is able to do a sizable dent, whose vote is he going to dent? Is that barring this PK X factor, I don't see any significant reason to believe that the NDA is not coming back to power. It is for a number of factors, some of which we are now seeing in the elections across these past 10 years, that you have totally an asymmetric contest. On paper, you have two roughly equal alliances. You have a national party and a regional party versus a national party and a regional party. But essentially, it's Tejasvi versus the rest, because the Congress, as ever, doesn't exist. The Congress exists as an appendage of the RJD.
If you wanted to get an interview that everybody would notice, you had to get Lalu's interview. I remember that interview of him doing with the datun in his mouth, walking around in his tabela with a news track camera following him, in a rally telling one guy to come from the crowd and giving him his gamcha. He was the star. Why? I mean, is he done? Does he not have that star power anymore? Considering that Nitish's public appearances are more cringe than charm.
You remember that expression, right? कि जब तक
रहेगा समोसे में आलू, तब तक रहेगा बिहार में लालू. या
तो अभी भी समोसे में आलू है.
अच्छा. Are we beyond saving the Yamuna? Should we stop pretending we can?
According to the Upper Yamuna River Board agreement, 10 cubics had to be released, that is cubic meter per second, downstream of Hatnikund Barrage. I think National Institute of Hydrology said that that is not enough. It should be 23 cubics, right? But this is not happening. The amount that they have to leave for the Yamuna is not there. So this is one big problem. So how do you get that flow back? That means you have to reduce the dependence of the people on the river water. So that is, you have to manage demand.
I think two things. One, politically, I haven't seen anything so blatant, naked, brazen, despicable in a long time with this. So of course BJP comes to power, and there was always politics of AAP versus BJP. Now you have a BJP MCD at center and state. So there is no excuse for them to not be able to tackle pollution or water, and at least seem to be doing something. We know it's not something they can do in 7 months, but there could be a vision for 5 years, for 10 years, or that we're going to do something. Instead, what we've just seen is cosmetic stuff being done and just PR, like blatant false advertisement.
अच्छा ये तो हम कब से कर रहे हैं. हमारे यहाँ तो नदियों को पूजा जाता है, देवी मानते हैं. हमारे यहाँ महिलाओं का अपमान कैसे हो सकता है? हम तो महिलाओं की पूजा करते हैं, देवी मानते हैं, है ना? Welcome to Chota Hafta. Now Chota Hafta is but a small, chota version of a complete weekly podcast, Newslaundry Hafta. The Newslaundry Hafta is where you get the week's news, what made the headlines, what didn't make the headlines, but the full version is available to subscribers only. And I don't mean YouTube subscribers, although YouTube subscribers are also very welcome, very, very grateful to you, but also to Newslaundry subscribers, the paying subscribers who pay to keep news free. So you can also become a paying subscriber by clicking the subscription link. Now what do you get if you're a paying subscriber? You get access to all our paywall content, all interviews, podcasts, and importantly, you get access to a full unedited Hafta, where you not only get to hear the week's news, but you get to hear the Newslaundry editors' positions on matters. You get to see their biases, what are their prejudices. It's an exercise in transparency while also informing you, and we have a few quips and jokes and agreements and disagreements thrown in. So listen to the full Hafta, subscribe to Newslaundry, and pay to keep news free. Here we go. अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of News Laundry Hafta. I will first introduce the panel to you because we have two guests who will be joining us on this hafta, talk about two different issues. Yeah. But first, in the studio, there is Manisha Pande.
Hello.
From Chennai, joining us, Jayashree, Arunachalam.
Hello.
But I'd like to tell you, we've been running something called Fight to Breathe campaign for all year.
Yeah.
Suddenly, right now, the air quality in Delhi and much of North India has reached a level where yesterday it was the worst October day in the last
Yeah.
5 years.
Yes.
It was unbreathable. Actually, it was insane. I was actually I thought I was getting a heart attack.
Yeah.
No jokes.
No, yeah.
Now, we have to do this through the year. And we've been doing this through the year. And some of you actually mailed saying, why are you reporting the AQI? It's March, it's April, this is why. Because when the shit hits the fan, everyone's panicking except the politicians who don't give a fuck. So this is the QR code, scan it, get involved in this campaign, make a noise, raise a shit storm, only then will something be done. Otherwise, breathe poison air and die. Okay? On that optimistic note, we have our first guest who's joined us, Sreenivasan Jain. Hello, Sreenivasan.
Hi guys.
Hi.
When did you get back from Bihar?
I got back into the radiant, purified, clean air of Delhi from Bihar. I think it's now been, what is today? We're recording this on Saturday?
Friday, 11 a.m.
On Friday, so I got back on Sunday.
Right, but it
It's
seems
been,
like...
yeah, about 5 days.
Yeah, so we also have a Bihar Election Sena Fund. This is the QR code for that. The link is in the show notes below. Subscribers can watch Vasu's interview with Prashant Kishor. We will show you a little promo of that, a clip of that.
Let's say that you make it more efficient and people are able to receive loans. I'm still saying कि जैसे आप कह रहे हो कि ultimately if that is creating jobs of the nature कि भाई आप अपना masonry, हाँ आप अपना masonry कर सकते हो, आप ये कर सकते हो, वो कर सकते हो.
तो हमारे बच्चे, बिहार के बच्चे बाहर,
हाँ
जो बिहार के बच्चे हैं वो बाहर जाकर बॉम्बे में प्लम्बिंग का काम नहीं करेंगे, दिल्ली में मेसन का काम नहीं करेंगे, वहां पर ठेला नहीं लगाएंगे. पहला प्रॉमिस जन स्वराज ये कर रहा है कि हम लोग 50 लाख ऐसे लोग जो मजबूरी में यहाँ से जाकर बाहर 10, 12, 15 हजार रुपए की नौकरी मजदूरी कर रहे हैं, गाली सुन रहे हैं, जलालत की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं, उसको रिवर्स करना है. मैं एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कीम की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं फर्जी बात नहीं करता हूं.
नहीं,
मैं ये जो कह रहा हूं, मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ी समस्या पलायन रोकना है.
And we have Atul who is there, we have Basant who is there, who will be spending some more time there. I think he'll be there till polling day.
Yeah.
So scan this QR code, contribute. Our election coverage is not powered by either Baba Ramdev's ads or any political parties ads or any government ads or any Adani ads or any Ambani ads. It's powered by you, the way journalism should be. So scan the QR code, contribute to this election Sena so that we can continue to bring you public interest journalism. With that, let's get the headlines and then into the discussion. You know, depending on the so-called Vishleshaks of Bihar who you speak to, he is not a real threat. How does this work? How do you even measure it? Or are we past the days where, like, for example, you know, PM Modi's rallies are quite packed in UP, but we saw what happened in UP in the Lok Sabha. Is there no way, there's no sense to any prediction of what the outcome will be anymore? We are past those days.
You know, I think the tools of trying to measure the political impact of somebody remains pretty much the same. You have quote unquote more scientific methods like surveys and opinion polls, and then you have essentially a more subjective anecdotal ground reportage of any phenomenon. And I think that what is emerging as far as PK is concerned is that, and there seems to be some convergence here, is that he definitely has a lot of traction in terms of his rallies, the crowds he's getting, in terms of the social media virality he enjoys, which he, by the way, always had. You always do a PK interview at any time and you're bound to get traction. But now it's gone through the roof. You know, we went to a PK rally in Chhapra and we spoke about 20 people. We interviewed about 20 people and all 20 were JDU supporters. And they were all saying that now switched over to PK. This is borne out by the C voter poll, which found that 8 out of 10 people they polled who are PK supporters have come from the NDA. So on the face of it, what could end up happening is that PK does sort of what Chirag Paswan did in the last election, where he ends up not getting very much in terms of seats, but he ends up damaging the ruling coalition. The social mix, the social combination in Bihar continues to weigh in favor of the NDA because Mahagathbandhan is basically Muslims and Yadavs come to about 30%. That leaves 70% in play for the NDA. So that's just a much bigger denominator. Number 3, Nitish continues to remain, despite the fact that that, Bihar is sinking on multiple indices. If you look at all the social indicators, Bihar is not in good shape. But it's rare to find people who will say a bad word about Nitish.
Yeah. Like Vasu said, even if people don't want to vote for him, they are interested in what he's saying. They like the fact that there's someone who's talking about education, about young people, about migrants not having to leave Bihar. So there is this person who's saying something new. After a point, SIR, vote chori cannot be something that will carry the election till the end. It happened. They raised it at the right time. And counter to that, you have a prime minister who says reels, humne reels banai. His latest statement was like, young log reel bana rahe, wo hamari wajah se bana rahe, aur paisa kama rahe. So people want something more than what Modi is saying and what Tejasvi Rahul is saying. And I guess Prashant comes as someone who's talking to very immediate concerns that they have. I hope he has the patience to stick around.
I personally find these gimmicks very cringy. So, Vasu, why did you not wear a gamcha? You did not eat litti choka. You did not ride pillion behind any candidate. You did not... What did...
Namaskaram Bihar, it's called.
Rahul Kamal used to do also the most bizarre thing, cycle and...
sometimes on a tonga.
You guys know this, right? Because you have the thankless task of covering television. So this is the curse of TV. TV has to make the same... What is election coverage? A large part of election coverage, if it's going out and talking to people, how many different ways can you slice it? How do you add tadka? How do you make it different? So this is like, I don't know if this is a fair metaphor, but it's like a bit of the challenge of porn, right? Porn is essentially the same thing. It's two people having sex. How do you make it different? So you have to create a series of scenarios. You have to create a kind of fake scenario where somebody's come to fix your washing machine or you're not able to pay your rent. So I wonder what the
You're not able to pay your rent.
So I can now say this since I've left TV, but can you imagine what my old biradari would be thinking of this metaphor? But in a similar way, you have to add spice to a conventional format. And by the way, at some point in my career, I've been guilty of this.
Here's a QR code. Please support our journalism. Pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers served. Though we do have a sponsor for this hafta. First time. Ta-da! This hafta is sponsored by the News Minute. Our partner organization, the News Minute, who is supporting us with logistics. We are stronger together. We are doing many projects together. We are doing investigations together also, I'm assuming, Manisha.
Yes.
And no ad breaks, no sponsored content, just the News Minute and us. If you aren't yet a subscriber, let me change your mind. You will be powering 2 independent newsrooms that have one mission: to keep journalism free of economic influences by governments or by large corporations. So you can scan this QR code or click on the link in the show notes below. Baulis that are there in Delhi.
Yes.
Can they be repurposed to start storing water? There's so many water bodies in Delhi. The horse cars, that huge water body,
yes,
which go empty. If the landscaping of Delhi as a city could be done, that when it rains, rather than the road outside our office becoming a river and then going into the drain and then going...
That's exactly the
If
thought.
that is routed through Agrasen ki Bauli, because these are very deep Baulis, right? And there is, of course, all the lakes.
Okay, but
is that possible to do, or is that...
So there's a problem
impossible?
here. What has happened is, over time, we have built over all the hydrological channels. So which used to feed these Baulis, these lakes, correct? So what has happened is, you have built a road, or a housing society has come up. Yeah, so how do you... So only water that you receive these Baulis or the lake can get is from rain, right?
Right.
Because the hydrological channels are blocked. One more thing that has come up, and that we are talking of promoting circular economy of wastewater. So the point is, you recycle
Okay, got it.
and reuse.
Sure.
So recently INTACH rejuvenated the downstream pondage of Satpura Lake. The upstream is where the Saket High Court and Press Enclave Road has
Right.
come up. But the downstream pondage, INTACH has revived it using the adjacent stormwater drain.
I see.
Yeah, and they use nature-based solutions to treat the water. Okay, because it has to be treated. You can't put contaminated water into
Sure.
the water body. And this is how most cities will be able to kind of use that storm water. And if you use that storm water, you're also helping in reducing flooding.
The government is well within its right to say that, okay, look, we've built a little pond because we know the Yamuna is dirty, but we want cleaner access for people. So we've done this little tam-jam for people who want to pray. Nothing like that. It's, the messaging that goes out from DD, where Sudhir now works, is that, look, we've done this, we've cleaned it up enough for people to have a bath in. Saurabh Bhardwaj points that out. Rest of the media picks this up as an allegation of the aap. You're there on the ghat, you can very well see, you don't need to prop this up as an allegation of the aap. Any journalist can actually sift an allegation from of what fact is. And that's what Anmol does. He goes there and he shows that, look, there's clear demarcation. There's a river, there's a pond. That is filtered water that's been brought here. There's a parda at the flyover that BJP has put so that people can't really see that there's a clear demarcation. And the media isn't allowed there. The Sudhir Chaudharys and Anjanas can go there and do fancy interviews, but media is not allowed there. I must add that BBC also lands up at the ghat and clearly shows their correspondent picks up the water from the pond. It's clear. Picks it up from Yamuna. It's black. So it's sad that a political party had to bring that out. It should have been the opposition. And secondly, that the media doesn't follow this up.
2 or 3 instances where, I know one is the river, I don't know how you pronounce it. All you Britishers, it's Thames? How do you pronounce?
Thames.
Okay, we have 2 different.
Thames. It's Thames.
See, now you have to choose between your...
Apparently, it was very polluted and they have managed to clean. And there was one river, was it in France where recently the mayor...
They cleaned the Seine and they also...
Yeah, they swam because they cleaned up. Sorry, you're saying, Jayashree?
No, I think the Seine and the Chicago River are 2 excellent examples of profound change which could be implemented. But again, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of...
So what happened? How did they manage to do that? And is that replicable here?
So even the Rhine, you forget the Rhine, they've done a lot of work. It was really polluted and all the countries decided to, go ahead with it. The point is, it's a catchment approach again. That means you just can't look at it like, say, for Yamuna, we'll have to look at look at the catchment, right? You can't just look at Delhi locally.
So you have to demolish all the catchment area.
So, no, not demolish. It's about the floodplains. There are a lot of things when you look at it. Now, I'll give you some things. First of all, you have to look at, how do you increase the...
Bas, muft mein itna ich milega. For the full uncut podcast, subscribe to Newslaundry and pay to keep news free. The best way to listen to The Hafta and indeed all our podcasts is through the Newslaundry app. You can download the app by clicking on the links given in the show notes. So do download our app and get the best podcast experience. And also pay for news and support a new news media ecosystem that Newslaundry is trying to encourage, where we are accountable to you because we run on contributions that you make. We don't take government ads, we don't take corporations ads, so that news serves the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Subscribe to Newslaundry, click on the link in the show notes below and proudly say, I pay to keep news free.